Prisons are far better than they used to be, but nothing compares to a completely free man. And in today's video, we are about to disclose some of the world's most dangerous prisons, which should be avoided at all costs. Number 15. Peddock Island Prison, Russia. Peddock Island, dubbed the Alcatraz of Russia, houses Russia's most dangerous criminals. Each prisoner spends 22.5 hours a day in a small two-man cell with no basic sanitation facilities. The island is surrounded by icy water and snow, making life more difficult for the inmates. If inmates disobey any regulation, they are kept in a small, dark room for 15 days with just a metal pail and a wooden perch to sit on. Due to limited access to the lavatory, half of the detainees are diagnosed with tuberculosis during their sentence. This place annihilates people. No one can spend time in a situation like this without being psychologically damaged, jail psychologist Svetlana Kiselyova said. Even the hardest criminals would be broken by the psychological pain they endured there. Number 14. Karada Penitentiary, Brazil. The Karada institution in Brazil, South America, is a particularly dangerous prison with a focus on violence and illness. While most jails solely deal with violence, the Karada Penitentiary has lost many convicts to violence as well. 1 out of every 5 inmates in the institution has been diagnosed with HIV. Number 13. Mendoza Prison, Argentina. The living conditions here are dreadful. The jail is overcrowded, with 1,600 convicts crammed into a facility meant for only 600. The captives are tormented on a regular basis and sleep on the floor. They urinate in bottles and defecate in plastic bags. In 4 square meter cells, up to 5 prisoners sleep on the floor without a mattress. According to the Amnesty report, the medical personnel are only called in after an inmate has died. Between February 2004 and November 2005, around 22 convicts died in the institution. Number 12. Black Dolphin Prison, Russia. This jail is noted for its strict procedures and staff since it contains some of Russia's most dangerous criminals, who must not be treated lightly. They are not allowed to rest or even sit during the day, and if they must be taken somewhere else, they are heavily secured and blinded. Number 11. Bang Kwang Central Prison, Thailand. Thailand's Bang Kwang Jail is a maximum security facility. The living circumstances here were extremely terrible, making it one of the harshest jails in the country. The inmates are tormented to the point that they either lose their lives or their sanity. During the first 3 months of their imprisonment, individuals were forced to wear leg irons to limit their ability to move, and those sentenced to death were permanently shackled in leg irons. Only 1 meal was supplied to them for free each day. The rest of their meals had to be purchased from the cafeteria. As a result, the poorer prisoners were forced to work for the wealthier convicts. Most prisoners were famished and ill as a result of the lack of running water, and the Thais dubbed it the Big Tiger because it prowled and ate. Number 10. Albedo, Barrios. This prison is one of the most violent in the world since it houses 2 popular gangs, the MS-13 and the Barrio 18. The living conditions in this prison are awful and deplorable, but the brutality of these rival gangs is so intense that even the prison guards are reluctant to enter because their colleagues have died in the bloodshed in the past. Number 9. Rikers Island, USA. Rikers Island has a long history of systemic maltreatment. Prisoner violence is a well-known and prevalent problem. Inmates are frequently terrified of aggressive correctional staff. The New York Times also found that over the course of 11 months in 2013, around 129 detainees suffered significant injuries at the hands of guards. 77% of individuals who had sustained major injuries had already been labeled as mentally ill. The harsh conditions endured by the inmates make this one of the most brutal jails in the world. Number 8. Diyarbakir Prison, Turkey. This prison is notorious for its inhumane tactics and violations of human rights. It was renowned for torturing convicts, minors sentenced to life in prison, sewage-filled passageways, overcrowding, and murder. In the past, people have gone on hunger strikes to protest systematic torture. It has witnessed a large number of suicides. Between 1981 and 1984, approximately 34 convicts were killed. Number 7. San Quentin Prison. San Quentin Prison was founded in 1852 and is the state of California's oldest prison. Despite the fact that the jail possesses a gas chamber, the only executions that take place there are via lethal injection. Even with a big team of guards, violence is a constant occurrence at San Quentin. In February 2006, Certain racially motivated attacks resulted in the injury of 100 inmates. In addition, 2 detainees were murdered. The prison is notorious for its deplorable circumstances, and a 2005 assessment noted that it is our judgment that housing individuals there is harmful. Number 6. Taba Prison, Syria. In Syria today, this jail is frequently referred to as a place where the person who enters is lost and the one who exits is born. The convicts are completely cut off from the outside world and are unable to communicate with one another. In this prison, every part of life is demeaning. Taba Jail was notorious for its severe circumstances, widespread human rights violations, torture, and summary executions. According to an Amnesty International report from 2001, it is a source of despair, torture, and degrading treatment. Number 5. Lyon Prison. Lyon Prison is located in Paris, France. The jail is infamous for being such a harsh place that many inmates have committed suicide rather than serve their time there. In 1999, 124 convicts committed suicide. The prison's brutality is so rampant that convicts are only allowed to leave their cells for 4 hours a day. The jail system also develops a hierarchical structure in which some prisoners are more strong than others, and the conditions for the weaker prisoners are worse. Number 4. Gitarama Prison, Rwanda. This prison is thought to be one of the most dangerous in the world. The jail is chronically overcrowded, housing 6,000 to 7,000 offenders, while having a capacity of only 600. Because there is less space between prisoners, they are always standing against each other. Many of them walk barefoot and hence have diseased feet. Inmates engage in fatal fights, even killing each other, and then eating the dead bodies. According to some sources, 7 to 8 convicts die each day as a result of the deplorable conditions. Garbage has infiltrated the entire prison, leaving no place to sleep or lie down. Number 3. Horion Concentration Camp, North Korea. The Horion Concentration Camp, Camp 22, is one of the most heinous jails in the world. It was a place of human rights violations, human experimentation, and cruel abuse. Every year, around 1,500 to 1,600 individuals die as a result of hunger. Hanging torture, pigeon torture, water torture, box room torture, and kneeling torture were all used on convicts. Prisoners are forced to work in the field and mines for 12 hours a day, 7 days a week. The camp was a high-security zone. Every day, detainees were beaten. Inexperienced medical officers practiced surgery on prisoners, killing or severely disabling many. Number 2. La Salmena Prison, Venezuela. This prison houses 25,000 prisoners in a facility built for only 15,000. Maintaining discipline becomes difficult when one guard is responsible for 150 inmates. Every year, numerous convicts are killed as a result of riots and gang fights. Due to high-level prison violence, 196 prisoners were killed and 624 were severely injured in 1995. Because the gang of inmates controls the prison, poor convicts are forced to pay the more powerful prisoners. They must sip water directly from the rusted bathroom pipes if they desire water. Number 1. ADX Florence USA. USP ADX Florence is a supermax prison, which means it has a greater and more restricted degree of custody than a maximum security prison. It houses a variety of amenities with varied degrees of protection. To prevent self-harm, the offenders are confined to their cells for 23 hours a day with poured, reinforced concrete amenities. They are supervised 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The prison has around 1,400 remote-controlled steel doors and a slew of motion detector cameras. All cells are soundproof to prevent convicts from communicating with one another. The windows are 4 by 4 and are built in such a way that their precise location inside the complex cannot be predicted. The goal is for the most aggressive prisoners to adopt reasonable, peaceful behavior. This is the country's highest security federal prison, and the terrible conditions here make the institution psychologically miserable. And with that being said, it's time to end our video. Which of these prisons do you think would be a horrible experience? Let us know in the comments. Like this video, and make sure to subscribe to the channel for more amazing videos like this. We'll see you in the next video.